Hey, yeah. Okay, welcome everybody. You are watching the 6WC 2025 stream, and this is another round of predictions. This time we are gonna be covering quarterfinals predictions, quarterfinals pickems. Last weekend we lost some of the teams of the tournament, which is already 8. So now that puts us in the number of 24 teams left in the tournament. So hopefully from there things will starting to get interested, and therefore here is the stream. As you might have noticed, today I'm not alone. I'm your caster Philoxen, and joining me today in the commentary booth, first of all, is gonna be the man who organized so many tournaments. I'm not even sure how much, but definitely one of the most experienced tourney hosts in 6 digit, if not the most experienced, is gonna be Foxy.
Damn, the glaze is insane. Hello, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, that's right. And joining me today, once again, you know him, you love him, you saw him in the previous prediction stream. Our not head, but one of the most productive broadcasting members of our staff team is gonna be Maiji. What's up, man?
Hi guys, hello. How you guys doing? I'm doing great this morning. It is 12:18 p.m. I was asked to go mini golfing before the stream and I told I told my dad I was like I got to stream, bro. So we're
Ooh.
commentating, we're here today, we're doing the pick'em stream and we're ready.
Yep, indeed. And I guess without further ado, the process of how it will go is that we have 12 matchups prepared for today. We will go from losers bracket to the upper bracket to the winners bracket. So starting off is going to be our first match, which is going to be your Australia versus France match. And I think with that, we will start. So speaking about both of the teams, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a battle of the carries. You have Ichinami, the long-standing carry of Team Australia, quite literally a dark horse, I would say, getting, I believe, a 7th placement by Qual's individual stats. And in this match, he is gonna get countered by, I'm pretty sure it's Green Melon, the carry of Team France, and another player who is very, not very much known to the tournament community, but it's gonna be Sunny Hacks, a really strong player that can even rival Green Melon, who is the strongest French player. And just looking at round of 16 stats, I'm honestly with that top one from France, even though the seed difference is kind of big, I'm not sure where to put it. I still think Australia on paper is a bit stronger just because of the qualifier seeding, so I think we should refer to that. So I'm gonna put Australia at around 5-3 victory. But Foxy, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first off, I believe it's best of 6. I think you're putting it at 6-3.
My bad, gang. I'm putting it at 6-3. I reconsidered. So yep, thank you. And Foxy?
But yeah, my
Again,
thoughts are a tiebreaker match, if I'm being honest, because while I do believe that seeding does play a pretty big role in these matchups, especially here where it's seed is 16 against 22, which usually this match, ID 33, is kind of one-sided. Here in this scenario, specifically because of Momonagi being not present for round of 32 and qualifiers, I think these teams are basically even. I think France realistically is seed 17 to 18. So seeing these two teams here, they're a very close matchup. And while I do hope for a tiebreaker, because obviously these teams very well match, as you mentioned, it's gonna be a battle of Ichinami against Green Melon for the most part, but you do have a lot of players on there as well, such as Clortle and Momonagi on both sides. You have players such as Clefaltonator and your boy Grubs, who have some experience playing tournaments, especially your boy Grubs, who is, I believe, the oldest player on Australia by far, playing every 6WC besides 6WC4, if I'm not incorrect. So Australia more experience overall, but France just a very strong roster, especially on mechanics picks, as we saw last week, where they played insanely well.
yeah,
Yeah,
merci, thank you.
and
Maiji?
um I agree with what Foxy said here. I think this will go to tiebreaker, and we didn't see Momonagi in round of 16 as well. But if we see them this round, then I think France has a good chance. So I'm actually gonna go for the favor of France and go 6-5 for
Ooh.
France.
Okay, I mean, you guys put it both for tiebreakers. I am really hoping that it is gonna be a tiebreaker because look, in round of 16 and round of 32, we had zero goddamn tiebreakers. Like all the matchups were either 5-3 or 5-2, or even just sweeps. So be there. Hopefully, this will go to tiebreaker, and we will see if it's either Maiji or Foxy being in the right. But with that, I believe we can hop to our next match, which is gonna be. Let me see, what is it? It's gonna be Poland versus Japan. Yeah, that's right. Your seed 8 team versus seed 19, which is Japan. Poland, definitely a country that I believe everyone
Thank you,
predicted to
George.
get top 4. Yeah, in the predictions, but well, unfortunately for them, Canada happened, and yeah, made a crazy upset against them. But Maiji is cheering so much. But
Fuck
yeah.
Canadian.
Despite Poland getting seed 8 and dropping in the loose bracket, they did put a great fight against Canada. So I think even though Japan they made it all the way to quarterfinals, I don't think frankly this is gonna be enough for them. So I'm gonna put Poland on 6-2 victory. And Foxy, I believe you can tell a bit more about the skill sets.
Yeah, I mean, just quickly looking at what we have here, you have players such as, again, another thing about experience here, Itness has played since 6WC1 and would have played all 6WCs had they not been top 3 in 6WC3. All of them in Major League as well, so Itness has arguably the most experience in this tournament, or in this matchup at least. You have other players such as Xabe who have been around for a while, you have some new faces too, such as Tian and Krituba, who have been around since early 2024 to mid 2024, I believe, something around those ranges. And then on the other side, Japan, they have a lot less experience overall. I know some of these players have played a lot of tournaments, especially the 6-digit Japanese tournament that happened, that was hosted by Noko. But that is where a lot of these players came from. I don't think Japan gets swept. I do think they can put up one hell of a fight, especially on this lower SR, where they're still not that skill capped, and they have their players such as Mugang and Chica, who we've seen overall just perform insanely well. But even then, with that being said, the Poland is just an insanely strong country. They have been for the past couple of years. So I'm just gonna have to put this at a 6-3 most likely in favor of Poland here.
Okay. I'm gonna be so real. I believe in Japan, but you just look at this Poland roster and like Poland's just much stronger, in my opinion. Like core wise, like they have a better core. Like Japan, they have like 3 to 4 players. Like they have Yukiyama, they have I believe Shiga, who's really strong, Mukeng, and like I just think Poland they have a lot more experience, so I'm gonna go 6-2 with Philoxen on this Poland match.
All right, this one seems pretty one-sided for us at least. We don't know yet if it will be the truth, but anyway, without further ado, I think we can jump straight into our third matchup, which is gonna be, oh boy. No, I'm done with those matchups. Last week we had China versus Taiwan. Now we're having China versus Hong Kong. What is going on in this 6WC iteration? Besides all the multi-account incidents, well, I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. I'm just here to commentate, and that's it. But I think we we've been talking too much with Foxy. So Maiji, do you want to start off this matchup?
Yeah, I'm glad. Last week we thought Belarus had what it took to defeat Hong Kong, and Hong Kong proved us wrong. Even with like almost a full Belarus roster, this 6-man squad absolutely dominated. So, they have what it takes, but can they beat China is the question, because they're a really strong team, and you can even see like in the stats in last round, like Hong Kong won a few maps, but China won the majority. So in this round, with the SR being a little bit higher and some of the players on Hong Kong maybe gonna start getting skill capped, like they did in qualifiers, I think I'm gonna go 6-4 here for China.
Yeah, I'm gonna take over here. I have a very strong opinion on this matchup because while I do believe that Hong Kong overall is a very strong team this year, I also know that China has way more experience, especially with players such as Mike on the team, who, again, another player that would have played every 6WC had they not been disallowed to in 6WC4 from getting top 3 in 6WC3, and also played qualifiers in 6WC2 with the Chinese team, which they did not do. But yeah, just China is such an experienced team. They have some newer comers as well. I know Jaku and Creep are newer players for the Chinese team that came from mostly 6APC, and they have been performing insanely well, especially Creep, who's been an insanely strong player and has been somewhat on par with Mike and the other like top 20, top 30 players, from my opinion. So China just a really strong team. I think Hong Kong can take a point, but I am very doubtful, especially because of the SR range and because of the Hong Kong generally not having enough experience. I have never seen these players on previous iterations. I don't think any of them played actually, now that I'm thinking back to it. So it's just an experience gap here, and China is just a really strong team every year, unfortunately.
I mean, yeah, dude, fair enough. I see that Meiji is a Hong Kong believer. They did a crazy upset against Belarus, which was 3 seeds above them. But still, I'm gonna be on the side with Foxy here. I still wouldn't say it's gonna be a sweep. I would just put 1 point for Hong Kong, I think, because of that hope. Because come on, man, 6-man team. I know they will have their weaknesses, but I think still the spirit they have, they already made it in the top 24, outseeding, yeah, their qualifiers results, and yeah, making an upset once again. But man, Jagu and Creep, those two especially are, as Foxy mentioned, are gonna go off when the pool is gonna start scaling up, and it is already so. 5.3 pool. This is, I'm pretty sure, gonna be a dead end for Hong Kong, and with that, it's gonna be a 6-1 from me. And we decided with that, but the next matchup is gonna be a bit more close in terms of seedings. And this is exactly what I have been talking about. You get Chile versus India. Foxy, what do you think about this matchup? Because I myself need to think a bit, so I will need some time.
Okay, so this matchup, right? This is a very interesting matchup because neither of these teams has that much experience. If I'm not wrong, I believe that Noxilium has played 6WC4 or 6WC3. I don't remember which one, but I know they played one. So they have some experienced players. Chile has been a team that's been going up and down in skill level. They got top 9 or like 9th in 6WC3 when they had players such as Isida and Pinacito on their side. Then they proceeded to get last seed last year, and this year they've gone up to seed 21. So they've been fluctuating a lot in skill. And with some of the newcomers that we have, especially Tigado and Solhei, who have been kind of carrying Chile overall, I think Chile has a pretty good shot because those two players alone kind of outscale what India has. India has Noxilium, who has a lot of experience as well. I believe they were also the 6APC captain, although correct me if I'm wrong on that one. So overall a very close matchup. I think this is a tiebreaker, and if I'm gonna be completely honest, I think anyone can win this. This is a very 50-50 matchup for me.
I see, man. And Meiji, what are your thoughts?
India against Italy last week, I commentated that. It was very unfortunate for Italy. You know, I did the interview for Italy. Um, the captain came. We thought they were on a cruise ship. They came up, but even then, like India, they were missing 2 of their core players, Noxilium and Lomain, and they still won. And they did really well as well. Like they performed better than Chile with 2 of their core players gone. So I'm gonna have to go in the favor of India here. And with the consistency of Krishbra as well doing really well, I'm gonna go 6-3 here for India.
Ooh, okay, so another tiebreaker, but in my opinion, as now Meiji mentioned that they were missing 2 core players, it means that with those core players, they would have been even stronger. Chile, still, they will have some hidden weapons, like those free mod 2 picks. For example, they got seed 8 on free mod 2 in quals because they have 2 crazy easy players, which are Ember Brigido. Um, Yeah, Amber Brigida and Tigato, from what I remember, those two definitely can do some crazy stuff on gimmicks. They also have a hard rock specialist, which is the Ultra Mao, but I think with the full roster of India being present, this is not gonna help Chile at all, and I still think it's gonna be pretty close. So I'm putting it at 6-5 in favor of Team India. But yeah, those are gonna be your predictions. We are done with the first 4 matchups of the loser bracket. So now let's get in the second half of it with our next matchup being. Oh, that's a very intriguing one. Matter of fact, it will happen at 18 UTC today, ladies and gentlemen. So don't miss it because, first of all, is Germany versus United Kingdom. Those two have been getting those rivalries for years in 6EC and 6WC, and now they are here once again. The seedings might not be that great for them, but I mean, United Kingdom is seed 28 and they are still here, while only the top 24 teams are left in the tournament. That means they definitely outperform their seeding result, and I'm pretty sure with Bigfoot and Fabdul being present in the match, they are gonna put a great fight against Team Germany. But once again, you looking at Team Germany, they beat their previous opponent, which was Brazil, from what I remember, and it was pretty close. And then they just lost to a really high-seeded team, which was Team Indonesia. There was nothing they could do, but still, they took, I believe, 1 point or 2 off of them. And with Lunexia being the crazy all-rounder, I don't think he is gonna get skill capped at this quarterfinal pool, which is only 5.3 SR. So despite my bias towards UK, I would still put Germany as a winner of the match, 6-2. But Foxy, I believe you are well more educated about those.
Yeah, both of these teams, I was pretty involved with the creation of the German team due to, certain occasions happening. I'm not gonna get into those, but UK as well. I know a lot of the players on there. I've played with some of these players. I remember losing to Fobdoodle in a 7-2 fashion in the grand finals of a tournament before. I remember playing with Bigfoot in Core 6-2. So United Kingdom is just kind of a wild card because Bigfoot, Ghost, and Fopdoodle, obviously the 3 most notable names that people have seen, along with players such as Isaac and Ivy, who have been performing very well as well. Like, they are a pretty strong team, and it does feel like they just underperform qualifiers pretty heavily. Because this UK team, while not as strong as previous years where they had players such as Dragonfire or Xaria, is still a very strong team overall. And on the other side, you have Germany, where you have a very experienced players. You have players such as Sterling Manor, who hosted 2 of the previous iterations of 6WC, got 3rd place in 6WC2. You have players such as Tauros, who are somewhat newer, being very good gimmick players, playing easy pretty well. Gliding Slime, who's a new spawn for Germany, Aki / Hope, Scattery, Lunexia. So overall, both of these teams have a lot of experience. They have some newbies, they have some very old players. So while I don't think it will be a tiebreaker, and I do believe that Germany is still the winning team, I do gotta give United Kingdom 4 points. They can do some pretty heavy damage on a lot of the gimmick maps.
Okay. Interesting. But yeah, my G.
Yeah, we're not gonna go into the Germany thing, like Foxy mentioned, but this is gonna be a battle between like players like Lunexia and Gliding Slime against Fopdoodle and players like Bigfoot. And I think Germany just have like the stronger team core. They have some of these pretty experienced tournament players like Zertoster, who played last year, as well as Hopes in Turley Manor, as you mentioned, and Gliding Slime being the carry spawn. I think Germany just have a much stronger core, and I'm gonna go in between what you guys guessed, and I'm gonna go 6-3.
Ooh, okay, then sounds good.
Oh, cool. I like that.
But with that, let's move to the 6th matchup, which is gonna be Lithuania versus Team Kazakhstan. C20 versus C10. Wait, let me switch real quick, cause looks like we're not doing that. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Here we are, Kazakhstan versus Team Lithuania, and you know what? Because of one thing that I'm pretty scared of, I'm not gonna give my prediction right away, So I will let you guys talk first about that. So Maiji, I think I will pass you the mic, and I will let you know why. I will tell my opinion later. So here we go.
Yeah. You look at these rosters and you see people like Erinx, Sorty, and Legacy who've in top four guys. Well, they've been doing really strong for Kazakhstan and as well as Lithuania. You know, you have Colden Ellis, one of the really strong players on this team, as well as Alan MR. And I think core wise, getting with the SR starting to scale, I think this could start being more Kazakhstan favored. But you know, Lithuania do have their strong skill sets, which for some reason it says Kazakhstan's number 3 with a lower score than Lithuania. But Lithuania, you know, they do win some of these maps like the Hiddens and as well as the Nomad 3 last round. But with SR scaling, I don't think that's gonna matter too much, and I think Kazakhstan is gonna take this out 6-3.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this, right? Lithuania has been a very up and down roster because they have gone from being, I believe, seed 43 last iteration to now popping up into seed 20 with basically just a 4-man team in qualifiers. So they are, I believe, a little underseeded. I'm not sure if the 3 players were missing or if the rest of the team just carried that hard, but either way, Lithuania with Colden Ellis, Alan Mar, and Bad Apple, and Lithuania themselves as well, Practice Dummy being another player that's very good on the team. They have a lot of really good players, but just Kazakhstan has these newcomers. They have players such as just Rimorka and Aaron who have been overall insanely good. Especially Aaron, if you've been around the 6-digit scene for the past give or take year, where he's been playing insanely well overall. So while I do believe that Lithuania is not completely doomed and is not going to lose terribly, I do have to agree with Maichi that it's at best gonna be 6-3, but I'm more leaning towards 6-2 personally.
Oh, I see. Well, first of all, my camera disconnected, so we will fix it in a bit. So you will have to listen to a fucking ghost. But anyway, the thing I wanted to say is that Kazakhstan, even though they have C10, they have Arangs, I'm pretty sure last match he wasn't here because of some studies that he is doing, or just I'm pretty sure being in the other country and not being able to play. So considering that Arangs, they have always been a carry for Team Kazakhstan, and I am not sure that without him they will be able to maintain that consistency. Because last time they lost to Ukraine, Ukraine didn't have Philoxenia, Kazakhstan didn't have Arangs, and Kazakhstan still lost. And for Team Lithuania, I would want to hope that they win, but also considering some insights that, oh, we maybe like just considering not only that, but the previous matches as well. For example, the one against Colombia, they won 5-2, but they had, I believe, only 4 or 5 players. Their roster is just not active, and this is where it will get critical, especially in quarterfinals. Oh, hello. Anyway, um, yeah, with that, I believe even not having errands for Kazakhstan, this is still gonna bring them to victory. I don't think the potential carry from Koldenelis and Lich is gonna be enough. So I'm putting Kazakhstan as a 6-3 victory as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of understandable. Even with the changes, I do believe that 6-2 is probably realistic. Although 6-3, yeah, makes complete sense here.
Yeah, alright then. Yeah, 6-3, 6-2. Yeah, overall, kind of the same predictions. And with that, let's move. What the hell? Let's move to one of the last loser bracket matchups. Yeah, Brazil versus Norway. A very underrated matchup, I must say. But Maiji, I think you were the one taking the interview with Mr. Wong and Andy26, so I think you can start it off.
I love this Norway team. I'm pretty chill with Mr. Wong and Andy, and you know they've had a pretty good mindset. Like as a team, they've had a really strong mindset, and you know we see that number one Omatu. I'm not sure if that stat is correct, but um, oh. Floxen's gone, guys. Yeah, you know, the seeds, Brazil do have that seeding lead, but we've seen players like Haibane perform really well on this lower SR. And Norway also performing better than Brazil in team scores in round of 16. And I believe in them being able to do that again. So I'm actually gonna go in the favor of Norway here. Some people might not expect that, but 6-4 for actually no 6-5, 6-5 for Norway. Oh shit, I didn't.
6-5 for Norway is kind of crazy because, like, I know Norway is a very strong team this year, and I know that qualifiers they were just kind of rough for them. But like, I don't believe Norway can win. I know Norway is a really good, strong team. Obviously, you have players such as Wong and Andy. Wong being another one of those players that missed out on one 6WC away from playing all of them. But you have some newcomers as well. I know Haibane played last year. You have Andy who's returning as well. So Norway is a very strong team, and Brazil has a lot of newcomers, especially with their last year's team being insanely strong. They have that legacy to carry on as well. So with that in mind, and with the starting being higher, players such as Dotsepi, Chutamba, and Braya getting a little better on the starting, I personally believe that while this is going to be a very close match, I think it's 6-5 for Brazil, but I can see it going either way if I'm being completely honest.
Oh no, guys. No, why are you putting me in this situation? I just came back from technical difficulties and I'm
That's why we
seeing
did
two
it.
tiebreakers favoring the opposite countries from each of you. So, okay, words aside and jokes aside, I'm putting Norway as a 6-5 winner. Call me crazy, but I believe in some crazy pop offs, and I'm always down for those. And I think Norway they do have enough carries for that. You have, of course, I'm pretty sure they were mentioned, Mr. Wrong and Andy as the core, as well as Haibane, the new Rising Star FC in a tiebreaker from round of 32, I believe. So those three at least, they are gonna put a great fight against Brazil. Even though Dotsepe, I'm pretty sure they got top one on DT1 or something like that in previous rounds. I don't think this is gonna be enough for them. And the mentality of Team Norway is still gonna be a bit more stronger just because of the experience. So here we are with the 6-5 outcome of the match. Maybe you will make memes out of that, so Foxy will laugh at us a bit later.
I
But we will
will.
find he will. Why would I say that? But yeah, we will find out on the weekend. And with that, let's move to our last loser bracket matchup. Gonna be Vietnam versus Argentina. This is where the numbers are kind of getting, yeah, starting to get big. As Vietnam is seed 11, Argentina is seed 17. And this is gonna be, I believe, the most intense battle of carries, which is on the side of Argentina. You have Velvet. The guy has been getting those seed 10 placements individually, like consistently throughout the entire tournament. Quals, round of 32, round of 16, you would always find him in those top 5, top 10 placements on all the maps and on overall stats as well. And for Vietnam, gonna be a bit different. Festive Oxlotl as well, getting a very high placement in quals and throughout the tournament as well, not letting his team down. And even comparing the qual stats, I don't know. I mean, Argentina, for sure, they had a crazy opponent in the face of Philippines. But I mean, just look at the seedings anyway. Only Fremont 1, where they got top 20. Everything else was very solid from them. And for Vietnam as well, pretty much everything is in top 10. So gonna be a close matchup in my opinion. But once again, Argentina, they seem like a very hyped up team. So I'm gonna put a victory for their favor. It's gonna be 6-4 if you ask me.
So,
Oh, you got it,
which one of us?
Foxy, you got it.
Okay, all right. So,
The order.
what my thoughts on this are? These two teams are insanely close in skill. Like overall, I will say that anything between like seed 18 to 10 is basically even in skill, and you could put them anywhere, and it would probably still be correct. And I think here Vietnam suffered the loss of Fire Red this year, which would have been their 5th 6WC, and on the other side, you have, I believe their name currently is Axel, it is unknown, who has played all 6WCs. But even then, on Vietnam, you have players such as Rena1 and My Angel Chino, who are insanely experienced hard rock players. I know Rena1 has been overall performing very nicely on a lot of other skill sets as well, and I've seen them learning low AR. So Vietnam has very strong players on their side. Obviously, as you mentioned, Fastive Axolotl, who's been playing very well even outside of 6WC. I remember their performance in SAT being very good as well, as Seed 14 getting to, I believe, top 6, if I'm not wrong. So they perform insanely well there. I think they can do the same here. And while I think this is another one of those matches where it can swing either way, I do believe that Vietnam just has that slight edge over having more consistency overall on the team, over just having to rely on Unknown and Falvet to perform well on the other side.
Okay, so now we put Maiji in a very
Uh-huh.
much reverse situation like I was faced last time. So Maiji, what decision will you go with? Vietnam or Argentina?
Vietnam may have the higher seeding placement in the qualifiers, but I think Argentina is going to be able to pick their way through this with players like Falwet and as well as Joski and Dante Scar doing really well on tapping. As well as Axel as well. They name changed back to Unknown. I don't know why they name changed, just to revert. And I mean, these teams being neck and neck in team scores last round. Argentina number 13, Vietnam number 14, and I think the way the pool is, I'm gonna go in the favor of Argentina 6-5.
Oh, I just thought 6-2, but yeah, looks like the thing we're doing today is just not agreeing with Fox's picks.
Believe
So,
me.
yeah, it's just
Absolutely
oh my
believe.
god, we're just targeting. Bro, wait, no, this is not good. Uh, you
Invited just to be
know,
bullied.
first appearance, and he is not getting the same opinions, but still, I'm pretty sure, Foxy, we will get at least one or two of those wrong, so you will have the full rights to make fun of us. But with that, I'm pretty sure we're done with loser bracket. And I think after a short break, am I right? I believe like 2 or 3 minutes, we are finally gonna go with the big numbers, which is the upper bracket. All your top seeds are there, but to do that, we need to make some researches before that. So we will see you in a couple of minutes. The stream, of course, will be there, but with that, we'll be signing out for 2 or 3 minutes.
Hello.
Oh, okay. Hello,
All
welcome
right.
back.
Yeah.
Screen. Switch the
Um,
screen.
switch the screen. So yeah, guys, after a small technical pause, we did some off-camera conversations, and we have decided upon an outcome of the Philippines versus Canada matchup. And in a couple of seconds, oh my god, what is this? So yeah,
But
honestly.
it refused.
Yeah, but they refused. So of course, you know how Philippines, they've always been flexing on their opponents, always getting that funny TikTok s video after each win, after each sweep, I believe. Well, not anymore. If you actually look at the stats that Philippines had this round, they got seed 3. No zigs, no victory, just like that. And with that, Canada is gonna sweep Philippines 6-0. I believe we all agree upon that. MyJ, of course, the most positive about the outcome. But yeah, honestly, enough playing. All jokes aside, Foxy, what do you think of the outcome?
So the outcome on this one's weird because the thing is with Sheesh, this is just another like 6-1, 6-2. This is like another day for Philippines just playing the game for like an hour and then logging off for the week. But without Sheesh, this matchup becomes dangerously close, unironically. Because while Philippines has players such as Yura, Edex, Yoon, basically their entire roster is just very scary. On the other side, you have a lot of good players as well. You have players such as Herald and Kaidori who are insanely good players on just anything you put them on. I don't think they have weakness as far as I know. You have Falba, who's an insanely good reading and overall just hidden player, very good at gimmick as well. Nixie is Nixie, you've seen them play easy. They are arguably one of the best easy players in the tournament, reading wise at minimum, not sure if mechanics wise. But overall, yeah, the Canadian team is just a very strong team realistically. And while I don't think they beat Philippines, they do give them a huge run for their money. And I think it's a 6-4, honestly, for the Philippines.
IG?
Well,
We
Yeah,
all know
sure.
what's gonna happen.
you want.
We all have
I
to-
see it
There
on
we
his
go.
face.
There we go. I'm gonna be so serious, like no bias at all, like no spinning the wheel this time. I spun the wheel twice and it landed on Canada, and the winner was Canada. So we're gonna reverse card Foxy's score, and we're gonna go 6-4 for Canada. And my reasoning with no Zix, no carry. Okay, Zix was the most like they're too strong.
shit.
Okay, they are too consistent, and without Zix, I think this team loses a lot of that consistency, and as well as Canada having a higher average score last round in stats. Despite them being lower, but they also got lower than Poland and they won. So I think Canada is going to be able to pick into their strengths and be able to take out the Philippines.
Okay, I see, my G. I mean, I said it as a joke, like no Zix, no win, but looks like my G is dead as about
To be
that.
fair, wait. Now that now that I'm thinking about it, Maiji does have a point. That last round we did see in the Australia and Philippines match, Philippines was getting force playered hard on a lot of maps with Aujish. A lot of
Ooh.
the gimmick maps they were struggling on because they have Zavi, they have Yoon, and they have Raiji, right? But with Aujish, they don't have that fourth player. So they actually did lose a pretty big chunk of their skill. What the hell are the two of you doing?
Cooking.
But yeah,
Right.
overall, like just looking at how Philippines was getting fourth playered a lot, I do actually kind of agree with Maishi. I can see this going in Canada's favor. I don't think Canada's gonna win, but I do think they bring them to tiebreaker at least. Because on
No
tiebreaker, I do
way.
believe that Yura Edex can like do well, but like outside of tiebreaker, I think Philippines can genuinely get like just the force playered on a lot of things.
Wait, I can't believe the Canadian spirit actually actually brought us to one tiebreaker and one upset of Team Philippines. So crazy predictions over here. We'll see how this goes. The match is gonna be pretty much soon, tomorrow or on Sunday. But with that, let's finally stop the glaze of either of the teams. And with that fade away of the Canadian flags, let's move to our next matchup. It's gonna be Taiwan versus Russia, and oh boy, this is gonna be one of the closest matchups on paper. As I was thinking about it, Russia and Taiwan, not only in quals but even in round of 16 stats, they had extremely close seedings to each other. From what I remember, Taiwan even kind of outseeded them. So yeah, I don't know at all. Russia, they look like a more aim consistent team so far, just ignoring the quals. But in round of 32, in round of 16, always those aim consistency picks were paying out for them, and they have consistently been getting those seed 1 placements on either normal 1 or DT1. Not only that, but of course on tapping and everything else, they are strong as hell. Taiwan, on the other hand, as well, really yeah, really strong team. Beating China 5-3, advancing to quarterfinals, having some nice carries as WTH Bro, Axaria, and of course Mororachi, who is, I believe, mechanically just the strongest easy player so far in the tournament. So I don't know. I'm gonna be the first one to open this matchup, and I will put Taiwan at 6-5 victory, just because of, well, for Russia. Of course, Singapore did Singapore things. They got punished for that. But Russia, on the other hand, they were not performing as great as they could have. So I'm gonna doubt some of those just consistency picks that they will have in quarters, and I believe Taiwan will pretty much have the upper hand on a lot of maps in the matchup. But Foxy, do you have a different opinion or not?
So this matchup's interesting. This matchup has a lot of moving parts to it because, as you mentioned, Taiwan has players such as What the Hell Bro and Murarachi. Murarachi just generally being the strongest player in this match. Like, I don't think there's a debate on that because they are insanely strong and easy, insanely strong on mechanics. On the other side, though, we have talked about Mororachi easy, but on the other side we have Whiskas, who is also an insanely good easy player. They've been around for a long time. I believe they won CBT1 all the way back in
Yeah.
in like late 2022. And then Murarachi won the last CBT a couple weeks ago, I believe last week if I'm not wrong. So Whiskas a very old gen player, and they're just generally a really good gimmick player. So while I think that Taiwan is an insanely strong team and they have a very good shot of winning this, it's kind of just a 50-50 on who gets luckier on a few of these maps. Because for both of these teams, being completely honest, this is low SR. Murarachi and What the Hell Bro against Satori, Depon, and Absolute Dark, those 4 players are what you're looking out for mainly. And they will be insanely strong, and it's kind of just which one of them gets luckier. And I personally think it's gonna be Russia. They've always been a strong team. They have had the struggle of group stage, as I found out while making the history sheet, that they have gotten very bad seedings out of group stage or just eliminated due to unlucky times. But this year with no group stage, they, in my opinion, can very easily win this and possibly even top 3, if I'm being honest. Russia's a really
Oh,
strong
okay.
team. So I think Russia wins this, honestly. I think they win this, but very barely.
I see. Oh no, Maiji, not again. The same situation. So you're gonna be
Okay.
the breaking the tie once
If I
again.
get
It's
bullied
okay.
again, I swear to God.
I'm gonna yeah, they're very strong on like aim mechanics. Funny considering their collab, Warcry. Um, I don't know why the stats show that they both got number one on No Mod 3, but we see Taiwan winning that.
God damn it.
These teams are very, very equal in skill, and Russia getting knocked out by Canada last year. Taiwan are my goats, and I've always believed in Taiwan since the start of the tournament. Told everyone that Taiwan was a sleeper team, and Taiwan, I believe, will get top 6 for sure. And I think with the consistency of this Taiwan roster, I'm gonna go with what Phloxton said and go
No
6 to
way.
Actual
5.
bullying.
No
Actual
way. No, I
bullying.
was joking. I was joking, guys. What are we doing? Oh my
This
god.
is
Nope. I can't
cyberbullying.
see.
Oh
This
fuck.
box is blocking half of my monitor, bro. This stupid box.
There is no way. Okay, okay. Yeah, Meiji had enough, and with that, we're gonna move on to our second to last matchup, which is gonna be about a very, oh my god, very interesting matchup, right? I thought this would be the last one anyway. Before I yap my ass out, I believe you guys also have some things to say about that. So, Meiji, what do we think about this matchup on paper?
Guys, mute Phaloxin before he starts glazing. On paper, on paper though, Indonesia, obviously. I mean, you have Variel, Zarilia, and people like Syntact Error and Emargating as well. And I think just as a core, Indonesia, like they're a lot stronger. But Ukraine, they do have a good team. You know, they have these players like Philoxenia, Sirs, and Sasing, who have been three core players of this team. And I don't think that they can be underestimated. So I think for one of the first times in the tournament, Indonesia is going to be losing some points in this match. I'm going to go 6-3 for Indonesia. But I believe in Ukraine. I believe in y'all.
So I have an interesting piece of media to share here actually about Indonesia. So they lost a single point to Germany last week,
Oh,
while Germany was missing Lighting Slime due to him getting parent capped, as I found out.
no way.
Which no, which makes me believe that if Indonesia can bleed to a weakened Germany, I think Ukraine wins. I don't think it's an easy match by any means. It is a tiebreaker match. If I've ever seen one, it's tiebreaker or 6-4. But purely by the fact that Germany got a point off of Indonesia, off of a roster like this, I think Ukraine has a really solid shot, unironically. It's not
Ooh,
easy. It's not easy by any means. And if either team is missing a player, they instantly lose. This matchup is insanely close. But purely by that single point from Germany, I think Ukraine wins this matchup just very barely.
wait. Wait, no, Chad, there is no way. Foxy believes in my country more than I do myself. What do I do in
Um,
this situation?
Guys, is that Poland?
yes, no, Monaco.
Hey, hey, crazy GFX, by the way.
It's Monaco too.
No.
They're on standby.
All right, guys. So, first of all, what I must say that this match would have definitely had like one of the most hyped titles, like something like best European 6 digit versus best Asian 6 digit in terms of well, Philoxenia and Zerelia. So definitely a match not to miss out. And of course, Indonesia, they got C2 in quals, and I don't think, honestly, that they de-seeded, but still, when it comes to team consistency, from what we saw in round of 32 and round of 16, they are gonna be a bit more consistent than even the Philippines, who got seed 1. And Philippines, they've been not getting as consistent. Well, Indonesia actually, they have been getting those seed 1 placements in all the previous rounds. So this is gonna be really tough for Ukraine, and it's the fact that it is low SR, it's not happening them at all. Of course, one hard thing for Indonesia is gonna be that it's gonna be a bit difficult to analyze them because Philoxenia did not play in the previous matchup. So considering Philoxenia would have played, Ukraine definitely would have gotten a different placement, and well, Indonesia would have had different data about that country. So with that, Ukraine is gonna be in a bit of a tactical victory over here, but still, man, there is honestly, with all the respect to my dudes, I don't think this is gonna be an easy battle. I think Ukraine will take 3 or 4 points. I'm even more thinking about 4 points, but still, I think Indonesia will not drop down to the loser bracket. So I'm gonna put it to 6-4.
I changed my prediction. I hit the
What?
reverse card. I hit the
No,
reverse
wait,
card.
no, people, wait, no, they're gonna start making speech bubbles. They're gonna call me a traitor. What are we
Yes.
doing? What?
That's the whole point. But
What?
my reasoning is because I just want to see the bracket getting fucked. I just want to see
Oh
the bracket
man.
get ruined.
Okay.
And I believe in Ukraine. I believe in Ukraine. I feel like core wise, like carries, Indonesia has more carries with Viril and Zerilia. But I think as a core, I think Ukraine can shine on this pool, especially. So,
Oh my God,
Fox
no,
and
oh
change
my
your
God,
vote.
bro. No, I see
Change your
the
vote.
reasoning. Make sure not to not to send this screenshot to any of the Ukrainian major team players because they will cook me. And with that, I think enough stalling. So please, oh my God, the camera died. With
Yep, again.
with that, let's move to the last matchup. Absolute cinema. United
Oh,
States versus Mexico. Okay, Foxy, you take that while I'm quickly fixing the the camera.
All right. So, United States against Mexico. This matchup is very hard to judge. If I'm being honest, Mexico has a lot of their players coming from their own national tournaments because these communities like Mexico, Chinese teams, etc., these communities, they have their own secluded tournament scenes that are pretty active. I'm not sure if players have been around to watch for those, but I believe there have been around 2 or 3 Mexican 6-digit tournaments, or 5-digit that included 6-digit as well. So Mexico has a lot of experience on their own turf, but when it comes to a team like the United States, this matchup's insanely hard to judge because we don't know that much about Mexico, but we know so much about the United States. You have players such as Sparkle, also known as Light, a player who has gotten ninth in tryouts twice, getting on B team in the last 2 years, which I just believe to be the most tragic statistic in the world here. You have players such as Delete, who in Core 6-2 were absolute demons and have been popping off a lot in these pools. Kalinjak and Creepcrafting, who are somewhat newer to the tournament scene, but also insanely good overall, especially Kalinjak, who's been an absolute monster overall on a lot of this lower SR. They, I believe, got second place in the 6-digit United States tournament that was hosted by Wheels and Renio recently, with Light getting second place. You have Kiwi, who was a kind of spawn out of nowhere in Zat and Boomer Cup 3, where they got top 3. So United States, a lot of history. These players have so much behind them. But then Mexico is just this mystery team that's been performing insanely well throughout the entirety of 6WC. And while they did not perform that well last week, they got 10th overall, and they did have a player removed due to what I believe is a restriction. I, I will have to give this to the United States, but Mexico, I believe, can take 4 points. I think this is a 6-4 personally for the United States.
nah, I'm gonna take this away. Foxy fake American, those who've seen the announcement. Anyways, Mexico got seed 6 in qualifiers, and I believe that is all due to their DT. Their DT is top notch, like tapping, top notch, really strong, and I think that they got hella seed boosted from that. And in my personal opinion, I believe in the US. I'm moving to the US soon, and yeah, this is gonna be a 6-2 for me for the US, mainly because Mexico can win these DTs, and every round Mexico has gotten where's my mouse? Okay, I found it. Mexico has seeded below their qualifier seed in every single round. And USA getting number 1 last round, showing that American dominance. And yeah, I'm just gonna go 6-2 with the US. I was trying to put the score, but thank you, Foxy or Jorian. I hate this fucking box.
Okay, I see. First of all, once I joined once again, why was Mexican flags all over the screen and now they changed to US? I think that's a very reasonable question, but anyway, with with those US flags now on the screen, I'm definitely I will be more on the side of US since they were the best round of 16 team by performance. Those 4 top ones are definitely crazy. Okay. Anyway,
What?
Mexico, I really like their game so far. They have Raspid, they have Hyde, Essay, and Jish. Those 3, they all got in top 20 by individual stats and quals. they are a crazy core team, core players, and I think they are gonna bring a really crazy performance. And I would hope that this will go to tiebreaker, but just considering how like the tendency is in this 6WC, and we haven't still seen any tiebreakers throughout round of 16 and 32. I'm not gonna say that it's gonna be a tiebreaker, so I will put it to 6-3 in favor of Team United States.
Going in the middle, safe.
Just in the middle.
I'm the
Well,
only
that's
one
right.
who has trust in these low seeds. Wow. The entire stream. Wow.
I mean, last time it used to be me. Now, well, the roles have switched, and we will see how this goes for Foxy. Maybe Foxy has his own charm, and maybe we will see some crazy upsets, which definitely would be a quality content for a tournament. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, this stream is gonna be over. And do you guys have any last words to say before I close it off with my short speech?
Does
Foxy.
anyone want to see the box? Oh, my bad.
The
Go,
box?
Foxy.
The box that it's with my that is headphones that fucking camera has been standing on.
Does anyone want to see the box?
All right, yeah, okay, let's give some shout outs to Maiji. Maiji showed him the box. Maiji, for your information, I believe this is the first time he's doing a cam. Oh my god. This is the
Wait,
first time.
move my thing.
Yeah, this is the first time he's doing a stream with a camera, and he needed to make some sort of a setup for that, so he just he just used the box for that. Oh my god, we're getting into Matrix. Let's go.
An edit.
Yep, I think that's enough for now. So thank you, Maiji, for showing us the yeah, the actual layout of how the stream for you is set up. And with that, I believe, Foxy, do you have anything to say?
I have been turned into an American that cannot push a boulder up a mountain, and that's my final closing words. They know exactly what I'm talking about.
So yeah, someone, I have a suspicion they just forgot to change the casters for the stream. So instead of Foxy 1919, it was showing Sisyphus with American flag. But it got fixed really quickly, so surely no one noticed. But with that, I cannot believe you guys just making so many jokes right at the end. And to end this on a high note, I believe, well, this is, first of all, thank you, Jorian, for taking the stream. Definitely came in clutch. And of course, just how much work Jorian does, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, probably most of the matches that you watched were streamed by him. He is almost single-handedly just carrying 6WC right now. So huge shout outs to you, and in the huge shout outs to Perry and Foxy for well, making and fixing the sheet right
Foxy
before the
method.
stream. Yep, the Foxy method indeed. And in the commentary booth, you had me, Philoxen, your festival organizer and a 6WC admin. Joining me today was, of course, the lovely Foxy and, of course, your lovely Maiji. Those two, definitely looking forward to commentate more matches with them. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you like the predictions and that the stream as well was pretty fun to watch. And with that, we're gonna be saying goodbye to you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.